Hello. Good morning, evening, afternoon, etc., etc. Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday, Quacko, evening. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what we were doing last time. It was something maths, something unit tests, something the transpose was wrong. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Question for the class. I have noticed, well, as I've been editing up some of these live streams into other content, mainly short form, there is a slight delay. So I've added a slight, like, between the audio and the video. So I've now artificially added that delay, or tried to compensate for that delay in OBS. So let me know, is this better or worse? It's like 100 milliseconds, which I thought was actually quite high, question mark. So let me know whether this is demonstrably better or worse, and maybe I'll just tweak it as we go along. Emery, hello. Wait for people to roll in. I'll figure out my life. It is better, almost perfect. Interesting. Okay, that's from the Twitch side. So YouTube, anyone on YouTube, there's at least 15 of you so far. How's the audio sync? Is that better or worse than your previous experience? The video and audio seem fine. Okay, cool, we're there. Right, I'll leave it in. I might change. You said almost perfect, like could be better or not worth fucking around with. Yeah, okay, let me grab some code. So close, it'll take months to get exact. Okay, yeah, fine, that's cool. I'm totally okay in my life with close enough. Hello, Robert. Ropet, sorry, I should say. Hello, Julian. Oh, for those on Twitch, I believe I've done a thing. Yes, nailed it. Oh no, now AC's saying it's off. Oh no. What have I done? More off than normal, or Mario, hello? I want to spend like almost zero time faffing around with it. I just wanted to, it's just something that I've noticed in the recording. So when OBS craps out to a file, I've noticed there is a slight sync issue, which leads me to believe it's an OBS issue at the root. I'm surprised that it looks better on Twitch. Interesting. But is it worse on YouTube now? Because I'm happy for both places to suffer equally, if that makes sense. It's one of those annoying things where I can only retest it live, so I don't really want to waste too much time doing it. But I've got 100 milliseconds sync offset on OBS. So no sync issues on YouTube. Okay, I think we're going to start, and if people complain, AC, resubscribe for 15 months, much appreciated, thank you very much. AC also did all the heavy lifting for the Discord, so thank you very much for that. Hay fever. Okay, I think we're good to go, and I'll just change it as we go along. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, and kind of blind tested it to see if anyone mentioned anything. Okay, so last time we wrote some tests, they were pretty great. Harand fixed it all at the last minute for us, but I don't think he's here today. He's probably raiding. But I sure have written a lot of tests, and they sure go green. So I feel like we've done it. I can go. Nice. Background noise as you rewrite your render for the 50th time. Well, I hope the 50th time is the one true time. But as I've come to learn, it's much more fun writing the rendering code than a game. So I empathize deeply. Excuse me. Hay fever today. I reluctantly wrote a matrix 3 class because I didn't think I needed to, but it turns out I did, and that is fine, I guess. We had a wireframe renderer, I think was where we were at, and yeah, so this is what we were trying to wire up in terms of the maths. So where's my... Basically, as a super quick summary for anyone who is new or anyone who's forgotten in the last how many days, because I basically have, we have a frustum, as in a square-based pyramid with the top cut off that extends from our camera, and we want to see which objects lie within that so we can do visibility testing. Can we tell pragmatically if the camera can see something? The frustum is defined by 6 planes. Big fish, little fish, go box. And then we can, but it's not working. Like, there's a bug in the maths. There's a bug in the code somewhere. To facilitate fixing that, we want to be able to render the frustum. So to do that, we need to work out the 8 intersection points of the 6 planes, i.e. the corners of the square-based pyramid with the top cut off, and then we can use our existing debug code to draw that. So what we've got is the function which gets the intersection of 3 planes. And the idea is then that we should be able to go through all 8 enumerations, 8 combinations of the 6 planes, such that we can locate the 6 unique vertices, and then we're just going to draw a bunch of lines between them. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So I found some code online which does this, and we're just slowly integrating this. We had some bugs in them. We had to write an invert method. We had to write vector multiplication. There's a whole loads of stuff we had to write. So here we are. Here we are. Okay, so we then, after this, we don't want to return this. This is like const auto. Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, we do return this, sorry. I think. Yeah, this is it. So you construct a matrix 3 from the normals of 3 of the planes. You then construct a vector from the negative distances of those associated planes, and then you slap it in some maths, and apparently this basically resolves the intersection point of 3 planes, because 3 planes should have, unless they're parallel or co-planar, should have 1 unique intersection point, unless they're parallel, in which case you might have none or infinite. Maths? Okay. Or curved. Yeah, if they form themselves a prism. Anyway, I'm not worried about that because I'm pretty sure the planes that we have are well-behaved planes. So I'm going to do const auto near equals camera dot near plane, const auto far equals camera dot far plane, const auto left equals camera dot. Oh no, I mean, I've just got, what am I doing? Const auto planes equals camera dot frustum planes. So, oh yeah, I would like to live firmly in the Euclidean space for this. My brain cannot cope with non-Euclidean maths for this. And strictly 3 dimensions, not including time. I can't remember how camera works. Like, what order does it return the planes in? I can probably go. I think just looking at this is because we need to calculate for the 8 corners. but I kind of need to know the order that they're in so I can make sure I wire them up correctly. Otherwise, we'll have lines going all over the place. It's not the end of the world. You could just draw everything to everything, but I kind of want to try and figure this out. So I'm pretty sure this is near and this is far, and then I'm going to guess as you take, if you go left, this is going to be the left plane, the right plane, the up plane, and the down plane, and then the up plane, I think. Yeah, I'm like, it exists in my brain for as long as it takes to get out into code, and then I kind of forget about it and go on with it. There's a fair amount of maths, but it's not too bad. It's certainly not groundbreaking, and it's certainly not anything new or novel. So I can just rely quite heavily on prior art. Head in the way. Yeah, sorry. Okay, my big bald dome's in the way. So what does this return? Is this an array? Okay, so let's do const auto near equals planes not const auto far equals planes one. I don't think you can do structure bindings on a stood array. I think, is there a paper out for that? I can't remember. Left equals planes 2 const auto right equals planes. So I'm effectively just manually destructuring these and getting references to them. Auto bottom planes 4 const auto top equals planes 5. Okay, cool. I think we're there. Excuse me. Right. Okay. So now we should be able to do const auto I'm going to do this as if you're kind of standing where the camera is coming out. So I'm going to call this like near left. I suppose we could just combine them all. So near left top equals intersection near left top. Right, okay, and then const auto near right top equal. Hang on, let's get the near ones first. This is going to be near left top, near right top, near left bottom, near right bottom, and then we're going to go near right, and then right, and then bottom, and then we're going to have to create another camera so we can actually properly view this. I suspect we're going to want like a free roaming camera that can then look at where this is. You wish you knew what it all meant? I wish I knew what it all meant as well. Like, I'm just making this up as I go along. Do I auto everything to write faster and refactor it? I think half of that statement is true. I write auto because it's faster, but then I don't refactor it because the type is deduced. So there's no need for me to do it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm happy, most of the time I'm happy with the type that auto deduces. And if I'm not, then it's just failing on my part, right? Right, so that should be 8 vertices. So now I should be able to do it's basically this, right? But I have to do, how does it work with the lines? I push back I push back the line with 2 vertices, I think. So if I want to do lines dot push back, I would do like near left top, near right top, and then I know red, as it's almost certainly going to make me angry. Right. What do you mean there's no? Right. So near left top. So that will draw. So I'm going to draw the close face first. So that will draw one line from the top to the bottom, and then we have to duplicate that and then do near right bottom. Then we duplicate that and do near left, and then we do back to the near left top. So we go on the top, we go left to right, then we go right top to bottom, and then we go right bottom to left bottom, and then we go left bottom to left top. So we should end up where we started. Okay, and then that is the same again for the rear one. So far. Okay, hopefully that's making sense. And then we just need to connect the two up. So I basically draw in theory, if all the maths is correct, I've drawn the near and far plane. Or the subs, I guess what's the subset of a plane? Like the square subset of that, which is the actual view plane. Words are hard today. There probably is a way of doing it faster, but I think because of there's two reasons why I'm not trying to, why I'm just like hand rolling this rather than doing it in a more efficient way. One, I don't care about efficiency, it's for debug code. And two, as this is debug code that I'm using to debug another issue, I want to be pretty sure that this is correct. And by explicitly naming the variables, for me, I think this is easier to conceptualize and make sure it's correct. So that's why I'm kind of doing this. Yeah, there are annoying issues. Right, okay. So now I need this shouldn't be too bad. So it's going to go near left to far left, and then we're going to go near right to far right, and then near right bottom to far right, and then near left bottom to far. So that in theory should be all the lines that we want. I think that's right. If you wanted each point connect to each other with a line, yeah, I think we could definitely abstract this so you just give it to the 2 points and a color, and then it does this for you. But I'm not. Or you gave it a string, like a vector of points, and it would automatically connect them all together. Yeah, const auto is a big time saver. It's yes, but also const is separate. Like you want const regardless of whether you're using auto, because if you have const, that's the agreement you enter with the compiler to say I'm not going to mutate something, and the compiler will therefore tell you if you mutate it and not compile. So it's safer, because if you didn't want to mutate something and you did, then that is potentially a bug. It also allows the compiler to potentially generate more efficient code. So what I always say about const is if you want faster and safer code, and I think it's very difficult to argue that you don't, you just slap const on everything. Or if you want to fit into the nomenclature, const correctness is what it's sometimes referred to in C++ land. But also, yeah, just type deduction. I find it just a lot easier. I like this style where it's auto variable name equals something for literally everything. Again, I think it lines up nicer. I think it's more consistent. I think it like the sort of mental burden of reading the code, I think, is slightly lower. Yeah, it's all useful stuff. I try and trying to write useful code. I write a lot of not useful code, but I do strive to write useful code. Right, so let's switch this back to main after all this. So now I think we should be able to, somewhere in here is our a wireframe renderer. That's going to be fun to say. Here, and then, so we're going to do wireframe renderer.draw camera. Okay, I'm just going to see if that kind of looks right from the view of the camera. Obviously, we will need to construct a fake camera for this. Let's see where we are. Oh, that's stuff for another video. That's exciting. This one. See if this blends. I use LazyGit. I'm a big fan of LazyGit. I try and do what I can from the CLI. I just find it more intuitive for a lot of things. But I mean, like, GUIs are pretty cool, right? There's no OBS CLI yet. Interesting. This definitely... looks wrong. Like, like it's wrong. But it's almost right. It's actually, I need pointed at the screen then. How bloody useless is that for everyone? Like, can you see here? I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor here. It's extended beyond the far plane, which is wrong, right? Like, it should be at very much at the far plane. Left and right planes swapped. Interesting. Yes, potentially. Moose, why would you say that? I mean, because I don't know. Is the wireframe wrong or the frustum? I guess for the next at least hour and a half, that's going to be what we're going to try and figure out. So the first question is, I'm actually thinking, I've had a thought, which is very dangerous. Let's let's run, is this assets? Ooh, why is the camera over? I must have moved the mouse. Anyway, let's have a quick debug of this, because this will show me the lines that I'm drawing somewhere in here. There you go. Is it draw? Here you go. So if I go here and then I go mesh viewer, this is what I'm drawing. I think it's the whole thing is rotated wrong, right? I think this looks like the near plane and the far plane given the size disparity, and these are the wrong way around. So the rotation issue with the camera was that when we switched to your pitch and roll, when you have those all set to 0, the camera was rotated effectively pi/2 counterclockwise. So we just adjust for that. Yeah, I'm trying to reason with myself what. There's the barrels, right? So those are fine. And this would explain why. I'm trying I'm trying to interpret this. Like, what does this mean? I've been presented with new information, and I'm trying to divine what this means. We have a frustum. Right. Let's take it back to. Thanks, AC. Yes, it does not look like a frustum. Frustum. The frustum is wrong. As you look at the near, so what we can do is we can selectively remove things, like just draw one of the planes first and see what that is. That's definitely an option. Can I, if I set this as secondary? Oh, I was hoping it might give me the colors. Why is it not giving me the? Here you go. Right. So we could set some of them to be different colors. That's something we could do to try and figure out. Say everything on the near plane is blue, everything on the far plane is a red, or everything on the left is. Do you know what I mean? We could do that. I'm just let me puzzle this through in my mind first. This is my thought process. The camera is correct in the sense that the projection matrix is correct because we render things. If the projection matrix was wrong, okay, fundamentally the rendering would not work. So I'm kind of convinced that the inputs to the camera, so the near and far, the field of view, right, are correct. What I'm not sure about is everything after that. From that matrix, or from the inputs to that matrix, we calculate the 6 planes. From those 6 planes, we then calculate 8 vertices. We then render lines between those 8 vertices. At least one of those 3 things is wrong. Because this looks to me like it should be more like this, and these swapped over, just because this is right. So stop. I'll answer a question. I don't understand how to draw multiple shapes in OpenGL. Is it better to draw the same image continuously by changing the uniforms, or create separate VO and VBO for each shape? So there's a couple of conflating terms in there. Like when you say draw the same image, what do you mean? Do you mean the same mesh? I'm not an OpenGL expert. I think a good starting place would be to have one VBO, one buffer object per mesh, right? So the VBO and therefore the associated VO represent one model, and then you can use GL, draw elements, or draw arrays, or draw indexed, or whatever for each of those, and then you pass a transformation matrix in as a uniform for each render call to basically say how they should look. Like, I want to render the barrel in 2 different places. That barrel is one VBO, and I call that render 3 times with different transformation matrices. Hopefully that helps. Yeah. So so one VAO for each mesh, not for each instance of the mesh you want to render, as a good starting point. There's obviously loads of weird optimizations you can do which are dependent on the specifics problem you're trying to solve, but that's kind of a good starting point. Right. Enough yammering. Let's write some code. I'm taking the executive decision. I don't know where the issue is, but I want to understand this better. So what I'm going to first do is change everything with a near to be purple, because I can't bother to change the other 0. So this face here is purple. These back ones here will remain red, and then the connecting lines will be, what's red and green make? Yellow? Right? I need more information, right? It's gonna be a fun one today, team. Yeah, I hope that helps. No worries. Yeah, I think Where's... Right, okay, let's give this another go. Cut out that. Okay. Where's me draw thing? Mesh. Set this. Ooh, steady, steady. Secondary. Here we go. Okay. Whoa, that is incredibly wrong. Like, really, really wrong. So these indices could very, very well be wrong. It's not obvious to me. This must be the near plane, right? And this must be the far plane, because you take the position you're at and then you add the distance from you to the near plane times the direction you're going in, right? Oh, actually, we could probably work it out from the... Oh, no, because this is the cross, the normal. Queco, I am with you. This is absolutely not what I was expecting at all. This could be wrong, okay? Because... Well, the cross product gives you what? The perpendicular vector. So this is saying between the up and the negative right give you that, which seems strange to me because that feels like it's pointing down the z-axis. Hey, is that right? Because you don't. These are skate. Right, let me just let's puzzle this. Let's puzzle this one out. Okay. You're crossing. You can ignore these because these are floats. These are just scalars. This one is the top. But why is the normal the perpendicular between negative right and up? Right? If it's the right hand rule, it'll be negative x. Assuming like I'm just looking down, like straight down positive z, then this will be negative x and this will be y. So why is that? Why is the cross of that not positive z? Right? Or am I wrong? Like, help? I have no idea what it is. GLM cross. GLM vec3 minus 1.0f. I just want to verify, like, I think I'm getting confused in my head with the maths. What have I done wrong? Have I too many? Too few? Not enough? Yeah, so that's minus z. So that's saying the normal of that plane is pointing like between your eyes. I would expect some of these to be right and left, and then right. I suppose because it does taper out slightly, so it would be not quite like that. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand. All things being equal, and I start off looking straight down positive Z, positive Z? Right. Oh no, I'm looking straight down the negative. Sorry, I'm looking straight down the negative Z axis, right? Then I would expect right cross up to give you negative Z, which it does. There's a, if you go to my GitHub, there is a repo called .files, which has all the .files for my various setups, including NeoVim, Fish, Tmux, all that sort of stuff. You can either use stow, or you can just sort of not cherry pick, as in the Git sense, as in just like selectively choose the bits you want. I'm not at all convinced this is now right, now that I've actually sat down and looked at it in first principle. Isn't someone keep telling me there's like an Intel paper for Frustum from camera? What does learn OpenGL say? It's my sort of go-to as well. How do they do it? Create Frustum from camera. Oh, this is where we got this maths from. Have I got their... Is it their dodgy maths? Wait a minute, hang on. No. Something's ringing in my brain. What's this two plane do? Because this. No. Okay, I remember now. This isn't the constructor for a plane, because that should be a normal and a distance. This does this, which we were battling with last time. So this takes, normalizes that, which would be the negative Z, and then dots that with the position. But even then, no, the normal has to be wrong. The normal has to be wrong. Where's their code? I'm afraid this might just be the next couple of streams. Is us trying to figure this one out. So they construct a plane from a point and a normal. But what is that point? Is that the center? No, the I don't know. I don't think sketching is going to help, just because I don't think my understanding is correct, and I think whatever I'll sketch will just reinforce that. Yeah, let's ask the Oracle. Let's just take this. Yo. Ask me like, why does my Frustum not work? I didn't even get to answer the question. I just slapped on my code straight into ChatGPT. The plane is a unit vector, and distance from origin to the nearest point on the plane. Interesting. Okay. Potential issues. Up vector assumption. The up vector is always 0, 1, 0. If your camera rolls, rotates around the view direction, this assumption could cause... Nope, we always have up. The function assumes right returns the unit vector perpendicular to the direction, which it should do. That's fine. The cross-product order in left, right, top, and bottom planes should be checked carefully. If your Frustum culling isn't working correctly, swapping operands in cross might fix them. Would... Yeah, it's trying to... The two-plane function is saying, given a point, the nearest point... This is it. I'm not... Mostly it's just passing position, which I don't really understand, because that cannot possibly be the left, right, top, bottom plane. I guess are all intersect at P? Yes, Maverick, that's basically it. Yeah, position plus. That makes sense, because I guess... Do the top, right, left, and bottom planes all intersect at position, like where you are? I presume they do, and then you slice it with the near and far plane. I've got a visual of this somewhere. Yes, okay, fine. Okay, I think I've seen... I think my intuition is... Not my intuition, I think my understanding is starting to improve. Here we have, right? So these 4 planes here, one... Well, it's hard to select them out, but the 4 that my mouse cuts through here, as in not the near and the flar, not near and the flar pane, all intersect at camera. So I guess that would be the nearest point on the camera, and then the nearest point would be this point and this point on the others. So that's fine. So that makes sense. That's why those are the positions. And then the cross product will have to be the normal of each of these planes, right? So I guess these floats here is what effectively gives it the angle. Oh, this is... Oh, this is a vector. Interesting. Okay, for some reason I thought it was a float. So you take the direction. So you take this point here, right, which is the direction times the far plane. Should that be plus? What currently is confusing or not working? This is when I try and render my view plane, it's this, and it absolutely should not be. Well, sorry, when I try and render my Frustum, it's this. So there's something wrong, and I've either constructed it correctly and rendered it incorrectly. I've constructed it correctly and rendered it incorrectly, or I've constructed it incorrectly and rendered it incorrectly. And I'm just trying to work out which is which. I'm not sure why these are multiplied. It does say mult, but like, I guess that just scales it, right? Thanks, lad. Yeah, I think that's the game, is to both construct it correctly and render it correctly. I think good point. I think that's what we should try and do. Why do I plus the first two and the comma the rest? Where you reading that? But anyway, so this front mult far, I think, gets this point here, right? Or at least gets that as a vector, as a directional vector. And then if you get a minus b equals b to a, so this is the direction going from the end to the right, okay? So that would be this kind of vector here, crossing that with the up. Does then give you the other one, I think. First argument to the cross needs normalizing before crossing with up. I mean, their example didn't. Because I almost don't think you want to normalize it, because I think you want to get the absolute perpendicular. What you're trying to work out is the vector, wait a minute, top one is like the vectors pointing inwards from those two planes, and obviously they'll be slightly bowed outwards. Yes, we can see it, how it looks like this. Where the purple is supposed to be the near plane, the red is supposed to be the far plane, and the yellow is supposed to be the connecting lines between them. So it's almost like this with these swapped and the whole thing at the wrong angle. Isn't that the dot product, what you're talking about? Like multiply, I don't even know what it really means to multiply vectors, because they've got the wrong row and columns. Like normally you just, when you multiply them, you just do component-wise multiplication. I mean, I could be wrong. Like again, this is not my area of expertise. I'm inclined to believe this is right. We could just write all this in GLM, take their code, write it all into GLM, and then compare and contrast. I think, and then write a unit test for it. I think that might be the play here. So yeah, that's a good point actually. We could also construct I like that idea actually. How are we going to do that? Where is it? We could create planes of a square, so kind of known data, assuming we know the planes forming a cube, and first validate that the 3 plane intersection debug drawing code is working. So yeah, we could refactor this so that it doesn't necessarily need a camera. It can just render 6 planes, and then we could construct 6 planes. What am I trying to say? And then test this. Can we do that with the camera? Can we turn? You can't really turn it into an orthographic projection camera. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think we take it both and just have one past the other. What I'm trying to work out is how do I construct 6? How do I then know that I've constructed 6 correct planes when I'm? What would be the distance for a unit cube, the intersection, if that makes sense? Like, I can work out the normals, right? It's going to be up, left, right, down, back, forth. But what's the distance for that? Because they don't all intersect at a single point. What I'm worried is that the maths, this doesn't make sense if these are parallel, because they won't have a common point. Does that make sense? So I'm worried by breaking that invariant, the maths won't work. Does that make sense? Like, am I talking rubbish? Like, the maths conceptually works because you can have a distance from you to the nearest point on the plane. I guess it would just not matter. We would just have it as like 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Let's give it a go. Let's go. I kind of. I think this is going to be like a core gameplay mechanic. We have to get this right. Should probably be a span, but I'm just not that fussed. So stood array Frustum plane 6u planes shape render. So this becomes this. And this just does it doesn't need to return, sorry, it's just draw camera dot Frustum planes. Okay. What are we going to shape? Wire. Okay. Yeah, thanks. I think we'll give it a go, and we'll see what happens. Because this actually, by testing this, we can then also kind of test that it's putting them in the right order. We'll be able to see a whole bunch of stuff. I think also what I will also do is just for debuggability, wireframe render, and then string stream, I guess, for const auto. I can't do it with the public interface. I'd have to yield the lines. Never mind. Okay, fine. Never mind. We'll just. I don't want to faff around my interface too much for that. We're going to do it in a test anyway. Right. Okay. So E tests shape wireframe renderer tests.cpp include gtest include graphics test shape. Or you fell off writing this out. MNOPQRS shape wireframe renderer tests.cpp. Okay. Assert true falses on your bingo card. Nice. When's probably streaming first time early in the morning, as I have a huge amount of other priorities. Also, like, I don't know what time zone you're in. Is your first time in the morning the same as my first time in the morning? I feel like evening BST or UTC, what we British sometime, whatever it is, UTC BST is the best time zone, I think, for me, for overlapping with most people who watch. I'd like to do. I would if I could arrange it. Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Nice. You're in the UK. I would like to do an all-day stream. I think that'd be fun. I'd have to plan that well in advance, but I think it might be fun to do an all-day stream, like on a Saturday or something, or a Sunday. Okay. So let me just do tests, and then this should be shape star. Okay, right. So let's do. Gonna need a whole bunch of stuff now. So hash include array. Hash include. I really hate the fact that I put this in game. I do need to change this. Frustum plane. Hash include. I know what. Vector 3. Okay, so am I streaming till midnight tonight? I don't know. I do have to get up from work tomorrow, so we'll see. We'll see how far we get. I have quite a long commute tomorrow as well, so I don't up too late. But we'll see. Let's just enjoy the time we've got now. Bonus Friday stream with beer. Tempting. I don't know what's the Twitch and YouTube rules around drinking on stream. I've done it before over Christmas, so probably not. Presumably it's okay. Might make it better. It's hard to say. What am I doing? I'm gassing. Just says water. Sort of beer coloured water in a tinny. It's very dark. Very dark water. Looks a lot like Guinness. Okay, fine. Oh yeah, my commute's like 2 hours. without trying to dox myself over 2 hours. What am I doing? I've completely lost the plot. Const auto planes equals stud array game Frustum plane 6u. So this is going to be, let's do top. So this is going to be 0.0, 1.0, 0.0, 1.0. Are we going to assume we are 1 away from all of that? Okay, it's actually, that's not true though, is it? Because something maths here would be 1 away from here, but the closest point would be presumably the center. So am I going to have to trigonometry that? It's going to be hypotenuse is cos or sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Wait a minute, no, because I'm gonna which one do I know? I know opposite and adjacent sets tan. So I need to draw it. I can't. My brain can't cope. If I want to, oh no, it's Pythagoras, isn't it? What am I doing? I'm being a fool. Both the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle is equal to sum of the square of the remaining 2 sides. So I want this distance here. So this squared equals this squared plus this squared. I know this is going to be 1 and this is going to be half. So it's going to be stud squirt of 1.0f of stud power. I'm going to need this for all of them. So it's just const auto d equals stud squirt for stud pow of 1.0f, 2.0f, which I know is 1, but it's fine, and 0.5f, 2.0f. Right. Lots of suggestions. I'm sure they're all good. Offset second plane and scale it. I'm not really sure I follow with that one, I'm afraid. One in each direction to test the drawing first. Oh, yeah. So that's not how that works. Isn't that stud hypot, actually? Haven't I literally just... Right, okay. So that's top, left, right, bottom. So top... right, bottom. To be honest, actually think about this. I'm saying these numbers. That's the bottom because they point inwards. That's left, that's top, and that's right. And then we're going to do the near plane, which is 0.0f, 0.0f minus 1.0f because it's looking down the barrel of the z-axis, 1.0f. And then we're going to do 2x1. Suggested process subject. What are you talking about? What are you? It's definitely vector 3 in float. No, I'm very much losing. Fix available. That's a bold claim. Why would I want... Do I... What's it called? Normal. And then dot distance equals. Am I missing a... Oh, does this whole thing need to be in it? Yeah, okay, fine. The annoying thing with std arrays, you have to, and I forget the standard-ese reason why. I've looked this up before and I always forget because it annoys me. You have to double enclose it. I think it's because this just starts the construction and then it can't there is no construct. That's it. There is no constructor. There's no variadic constructor for std array that allows you to just pass all the elements. They all have to be a single thing. So I think you then have to effectively construct and initialize a list around all the things you want, I think. Something like that. Sounds good. I'll turn it into a short. Someone will tell me I'm wrong. Okay, so no. Auto renderer equals game shape renderer, and then renderer dot draw planes const auto lines equals renderer dot yield, and then for const auto line in lines std print ln line. Okay, let's have it. Okay, let's give that a go. See what prints out. Aggregate construction. It came in C++ 2020, I think. Oh, hang on. What's line data just returns you a line, doesn't it? We should add a formatter for that. This is something we can do. I've written a really nice generic formatter which reduces all this boilerplate and makes writing formatters so much easier. I've just not had a chance to, because I'm trying to write everything live. I need to take a bit of one live stream to kind of go through it. It's really nice. It uses CPO. There's no ADL. It works for enums. It works for classes. It turned out it's not a lot of code and it came out quite nice. I've just not had a chance to integrate it into the project yet. So we're going to do that and oh, careful. So we'll do P equals that, C equals that, and then we can do obj dot position obj dot color. Does it see hard to replicate? Oh, blimey, hang on. Whoa. I bet. Right, okay. I'm almost tempted to go and add it now, but I'm very much aware that that's just playing for time and I'm not actually solving this. The nice thing about stood format is you get really nice error messages when it doesn't work. Obj.r, obj.rg, obj.b. I've done the same thing here actually, haven't I? However, I've incorrectly namespaced this. That'll work. It's the way I've done it is that it will automatically pick up and format any class that has a toString method or a free function called toString that takes it as an argument. So I'd argue it actually makes the code quite clear because you're just forced to define a toString for everything, either as a member function or as a free function, which is why it works with enums. And then the formatter just picks all that up and works and does all the boilerplate. So, oh, I've got some nans. That's never a good start. That would suggest the plain intersection code is wrong, yes. Or the, oh no, yes, you're right, because we've not. I think we need to test. I think what we need to do, pull this out into a utility function and then test this, because we could construct 3 planes that intersect at the origin, right? And it should give you that, like literally 3 not unit planes. If you construct 3 planes looking planar to the origin, the XYZ, they should all intersect at 0. Designated initializers. Thank you. I thought it was aggregate initializers. There are so many different initializers in C++. At the end of a long day, I will admit that I can't really remember them all, so I apologize for getting that wrong. Where does this live? There's no, like, utils, but I think it probably... I feel like it probably could go in the Frustum plane for like, want of a better place. Right. Not a big fan of just shoving random code in places, but I think for what we're doing, I think it might be okay. D2, D2F colon. Oh, they are aggregate initializers. Oh, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing then. Quite different. I mean, C++ 11 is a fundamentally different language to O3. I have worked on a large-scale O3 project before. It is interesting. 11 is fundamentally different. I'd say 20 is also quite different with concepts and ranges. It's a very different language. Do I like this? Well, I'm not sure I like it, but like, I think we're getting there. So, is your matrix inversion going degenerate? Potentially. As in this, with these specific inputs I've given it, or just like generally? We have tested this though. We have tests for this, and at least with the inputs I've given it, it definitely is correct. All right, let's tests Frustum plain tests CPP include gtest hash include game Frustum plain test Frustum plain intersection. Is that true? Frustum plain test CP. Okay. Frustum plain line 5. Thank you. Which file was that? Which one have I made a mistake in? Test PPP. I don't see it. I don't see where I've made a mistake. Test. Oh, Frustum. Sorry, when you put the uppercase R, I thought I had the I'd uppercase the letter. I see what you mean. No, AC, unfortunately, I'm actually even further into the rabbit hole of this now, and we're going all the way to first principles and just going to test everything, which is what I should have done to start with. It would be sad if this is all the problem. Yeah, so you kind of got C++ 11. I'd say is modern C++, and then C++ 20 is, I've heard it referred to as postmodern C++. Yeah, we're trying to figure out which code is wrong. There's something code's not coding, or at least not coding how I would like it to. Okay, right. Okay, so let's do const auto x plane equals, I don't know what the distance is going to be for these, is the only thing. Like, oh no, wait a minute, this is just the intersection. What we're talking about. So much to keep in your head. So the x plane will point upwards, right? All right. The y plane will point right. Oh wait a minute, no, the x plane will point, the x plane is facing the camera, the y plane is perpendicular to the x axis, and then the z plane is perpendicular to the y axis. Now then. Oh. What is going on? Why am I? Ah. Yeston, became a member on YouTube. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Glad you're here. If Discord is your thing, then do connect up your YouTube account to Discord, because within the Discord that everyone has, there is a member room as well. So this is a great point from Moose, is if it doesn't work out and you find out the issue after the stream, how big is the temptation to fix it before Sunday evening? I am pretty convicted on trying to, at least for the first release of this game, write every single line live. Doesn't mean I won't experiment with stuff offline and maybe like a separate copy of the repo or whatever, but I'm not committing anything to Git that I've not written, so nothing will be fixed. Any fixes that I do work through, I will work through again live with everyone. I mean, if we get to like 20 streams in and I'm still doing this and I'm noticing my view account rapidly drop off, I might be quick to go back on my morals there, but I'm very determined to do it. Also, unfortunately, I'm not, it's not the right word, I'm currently working on the next video, which, as always, is more complicated than the last one. So any free time I have is very much taken up with working on that. So I probably won't, the only time I have to work on this at the moment is the time, the sort of 4 to 5 hours I set aside a week to work on this. I do like templates. Templates and ranges. Solve all your problems with that. What am I doing? Const auto intersection equals game intersection explain. Right, so convince me I'm wrong, or trying to convince myself I'm right. These all intersect at the origin, right? So intersection game vector 3. Like, or some floating point anomaly off, right? But like, okay. Is that enough to convince us it's working? Is the base case enough? Do we need to construct something more exotic? Unfortunately, like when macro was the only tool you had for generic code, not the only tool because you've always had templates, but like macro was a viable tool for generic code, especially in like large C code bases. So you can understand why people kind of get a bit mad with it. But since like, I mean, C+ templates are Turing complete anyway, so you can pretty much do whatever you want. Whether you should is another point, but you can do whatever you want with them. Yeah, so let's do it. So it intersects at 1, 1, 1. So what would that look like? That's going to have an angle on it, right? Frustum plane. I think it does use the distance though, so add one to each plane in the respective chords. So sorry, you're saying add one to each plane in the respective chord. and we think that's enough to do we might need near for this. Yeah. I don't know what they need to be, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't... I suppose it... Why do you need the distance? What relevance could that have to the intersection? Surely the intersection is always the intersection, regardless of the nearest point from you to it, right? I think that's Candy is right. I think this intersection is still 0, 0, because all we've effectively done is take those and rotate them round, right? The distance will change. No, the distance will change the intersection along that vector. So it pushes out the vector. So it pushes out, effectively pushes out the plane. So trying to get my understanding of this then. Is that like that then? Probably not actually, we like that. Yeah. I don't, is it? Yeah, I know, we'll print them. Someone's just saying it's Max. Oh, interesting. Someone can read their floats in binary better than I can. Are we kind of convinced that's right? So if I move, like, effectively move that, offset that plane up, why is the intersection now negative? No, because it's the inverse to this, isn't it? Because if you think of the frustum, the normal point's inwards, but you always move it the opposite. You're effectively moving it outwards along the average way. So I think that is correct. Yeah, I think that is correct. I'm reasonably convinced intersection is now correct. Okay, I'm not saying it's definitely correct. I'm just reasonably convinced that it is correct here. So the question now is the what is this doing? Let's go back and have a look at the numbers. I just want to change this. This is hard. This is harder to read than I thought it was going to be. and line data. Right. But are planes correct? As in, I think the planes we generate. So we've tested. Right. What have we tested? Right. We've. Well, that's a shit test. What's that doing? Obviously, never bothered finishing that one. We've tested matrix 3. Right, we've tested the plane intersection, and we think that's correct. We've tested the matrix code, which feeds into the intersection code, so we think that's correct. So I think the next thing now is, why is this giving us nans, right? Because I'm just kind of going through the kind of pipeline of this in my mind. We give it a camera, okay, and then we intersect all the planes and we render them out. We think this is correct, so either this is wrong or this is wrong. This seems unlikely to be wrong. But if this is correct, then that means this is incorrect, which means in the test this is incorrect. And I don't think this is incorrect. Unless the maths doesn't make sense if you have effectively an orthographic projection. Because that's pretty bad. Saying near left top is wrong. Hang on, no, because... Right, okay. Don't I need to normalize the intersection? No, because I want it in world space. We are intersecting hang on. I'll get there in a minute. What am I trying to articulate here? Where's the code? It's in the graphic source graphics. Right, okay, I'm running out of space here. So near this here, right, is returning. This near left top is nan, right? Okay, so this here is nan. Near left top, so near left and top. So this is saying 0, 2, and 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's saying this, and this are wrong. So let's construct those in this individual test and see if we can figure out what's going wrong. So I say 0, 2, and 5. So 0, 1, 0, 0. Oh, of course. Oh, hang on. Of course those are going to be nan. Those are parallel. Right? Am I? I know what I've done. I know what I've done. Don't worry, guys. I've got it. Well, I don't know if I've got it, but I've definitely got something. I've assumed an order here, and I've definitely not respected that order here. So I want the near, which is going to be this one. I want the far. I've got to get this right now. The left plane will have a positive x inward facing normal. So that's this one. Right. And then right will have a negative x, that's this one, and then the bottom one will have a positive y, and then the top one will have a negative y, right? Are we all aligned? Do we have synergy? Are we synergized? We got good optics? Why is it rebooting two things? What header file did I change? Canavar, sorry, hello. You said that and I missed you. Hello, glad you're here. Here to share the misery. Just a little plug. Oh, values. Okay. I can. I just not got round to it. It's on my to-do list. Right. Okay. Is this what we expect? Are these perpendicular points at the various axes? I think they are, right? What's where's Wolfram? Can I do hypot of 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 hippo? Square root of 0.5 squared plus 0.5 squared. 0.5. Oh, Jesus. 0.5. Okay, that's not what I was. No, wait a minute. How big's my box? It's 1, isn't it? Because I did 1 to the near plane and 2 to the far plane. Yeah. It could be 2 minus that. Oh, of course, because I got... I am also 1... Okay, cool, thanks. Thanks, Richard. This Would I expect a Z? If I am... Can you draw this in the game instead of the Frustum? Yes, I can. That's a good point. Let's do that. Might be another stream where we don't achieve anything. Well, the real prize is the friends we make along the way. Okay, right. Let's go. It's looking pretty small and kind of wonky. I'm really not sure what to make of this. Yes, but when we try and draw a cube, like wasn't the whole point of this was to check the intersection points produced a cube? This is not a cube. This is a frustum on the piss. So where does that leave us? I mean, we're more confused than I was to start with. The camera issue was we just set this. So I mean, I'm happy to unset that as just a way of double checking. We're now obviously facing the wrong way, but it should have still sent those draw commands to the GPU. It has mesh view. Yeah. Well, it should have nothing to do with the camera now because we've hard coded those points. Because we've just kind of... What do we know? Right, let's take a step back. What do we know? Other than it's wrong. So the intersection code might still very well be wrong. Does some of are all these positive numbers, or should some of these be negative? I'm asking right now. When I define a plane as a normal and a distance, what does the distance mean? No, distance should be absolute. The vector is negative. Okay, fine. Signed distance from the origin to the plane along the normal direction. Is that right? Put YOLO, put 2 as a negative. D is the plane constant, sometimes depending on conventions. In my code, I am. No, where do I? Yes, I think you might be right. I'm just trying to work through. Trying to work through my head everything that could be wrong, which is quite a lot because it's basically everything. I think if you're interested in game dev, you probably don't need to go this deep to get started. Like if you're making 2D games, I think just having an understanding of what a vector is and like how to rotate things, especially using a game engine, they'll have the concept of translation, rotation, and scale. So I think you can probably get quite far without doing this, as evidenced by the fact that I can't do this and I've not gotten very far. If you do need to use this, I would very much recommend using GLM or an existing maths library. I'm just doing this for the funsies, which is not very fun at the moment. But I'm determined to get through to the other side. So I'm just trying to reformat in my head what all this means. So D is the plane constant. I think I'm not convinced this is right for this D, so can you give me the 6 planes that represent the unit cube? Step-by-step debugging, I don't think debugging will help in it. So I'm a massive fan of step-by-step debugging, like using a debugger. With my weird developer setup, I've not got that kind of setup yet. I just need to get VS Code and clone it and build it. I'm a massive fan of using a visual debugger. I've just been a little bit almost lazy in getting it set up for this project. I don't think it'll help in this situation because I think it's just it's a logic. I think it's just maths issues rather than like I don't think stepping through with a debugger is going to help me divine whether these values are correct or not. I think they're either right or they're wrong. Okay, so here, interesting. The Oracle thinks that these should all be 1.0. Yeah, this is definitely not a programming error. This is like a a human error. No, please do interrupt me because one, I'm getting a little bit grumpy with this, and I welcome the break to talk about something that makes me at least sound like I know what I'm talking about. Good start into game dev. I think just it's hard for me to say because I'm not a game dev, so I guess if I was to offer, it depends. What do you want out of it? Do you want to make a game, or do you want to learn about the internals of like game engines and sort of lower level stuff? If you're just interested in game dev, I would just download Unity or Godot and start writing clones of simple games that you know and have played, like Flappy Birds, Breakout, Tetris, and just sort of ramp up the complexity from there and just kind of learn the ins and outs of an engine and like how to like architect games. I would start there. If you're interested in something a bit lower level, then I would take something like Raylib or SFML or STL and start writing like an abstraction layer around that for like a 2D game, which allows you to, you know, start building out those aforementioned games with that wrapper. And if you want to be absolute psychopath, I suggest you doing what I'm doing and learn OpenGL. Yeah, I'm just going on what the Oracle says. Like, I'm very skeptical that it's ever right. Sometimes it is. I think it's putting me in the origin of the box. Well, it's completely gone now, so didn't like that at all. Is it? Oh, hang on. Oh, what am I looking at here? Oh, there's Z fighting over that barrel. Yeah, I'm gonna remove the AAB draws. I feel like I'm making progress. Like I say grumpy. Like it's frustrating when things don't work. But at least I'm not stood here doing it by myself. So it's kind of nice for people around to keep me company. You can all expect a very heartfelt and generic thank you in the credits. Okay, is square. Is wrong, but because is that should be purple. That does. I might have just put the wrong color in. It's also. I feel like it's orientated wrong, right? Am I? Right. Okay. I feel like progress is being made. Shape renderer. My expectation. Great question, right? Let's recenter ourselves, right? My expectation is that I render a cube. That the 4 vertices closest to me are drawn with magenta lines. The 4 vertices furthest away are drawn with red lines, and then the connecting bars are drawn with yellow, which is not quite what we see. I was expecting these outer 4 here to be magenta, these inner ones to be red, and then these connecting ones here, excuse me, to be yellow. Whereas it's kind of rotated like this, and this one is wrong. So, is there an extra red somewhere that I've missed? So red would be 0.0f, 0.0f, 0.0f. So those are the only reds. So we go far left top to far right top. Far left top to far right top. Far right top to far right bottom. Far right bottom to far left bottom. Far left bottom, far left top. So I think that's right. Oh, face cam's in the way, sorry. My big old mug's in the way. So we construct these lines by adding basically to a long list of line data two consecutive points to draw a line between. So for every 2 points we push on, it will the renderer that we've written will draw a line between the two of them, and it will draw them using this color here, which is just RGB 0 to 1 for each of the RGB components. So this is saying draw a line from what I think is the near left top to the near right top in magenta, and that's why this is repeated here, because they want to draw a line from that to the next one. Yeah, it's just raw RGB values. Well, I shouldn't draw lines on top of each other because I'm only rendering 12 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What I think we can do is just start commenting this out, right? And then figuring out, let's go back. I think the only way to do this is to pair this right back to first principles, and then just keep iterating on it and adding tests. I think we need that. Like I feel more confident now than I did about half an hour ago. These are not triangles, these are lines. So in the renderer, it specifically draws them as GL lines, so they shouldn't have a winding order. It's a float from 0 to 1, which is, but as a char, it would be 0 to 255, or unsigned char. Although, to confuse things, we do have HDR rendering, so you can use values outside of 0 to 1, but that's kind of not really the point at the moment. Oh, mother. This is not the first time I've made this mistake in RenderDoc. I just had this one selected. Look, it's actually purple. God, I'm going to go scream into a pillow later. That is absolutely outrageous. Yeah, if I select a different vertex up here, oh mother. Well, may you all learn from my mistakes. So the question now is why is the perceived ordering of them wrong? Let's go back to what it has. But Nightbot gives us Bang Discord, that was your suggestion, Quacko. Like, it's all there for you. That is absolutely outrageous, and now I am grumpy, and it's also annoying because this is absolutely not the first time I've made that mistake. Like, I think it's the first time I made it live in front of like, I don't know, what, 80 people? So that's grand. Feeling real good about that. Just turn that off. Right. So these aren't all weirdly crisscrossed like the camera one was. I think now near, far, wherever you are, left, right, bottom, top, okay. Right, let's go for a little bit longer. I was going to stop at 10, but I'm invested now. Would this be easier to read if you created named constant extra structs with the colors? I think now that the issue is my end, I'm not having an issue reading the colors because at a glance I can kind of tell what those colors are. I'm not smart enough to read them as hex, but I can probably read them as floats. So the overhead of having named constants for the colors is not worth it at the moment. Ideally, yes, and if you're building a proper engine, you should have that for convenience. But for now, my efforts are focused elsewhere. But it's a good suggestion, and I'll put it on stick on the to-do list of things that never get to done. Yeah, so the crisscrossing must be on the camera code that generates the planes. I think it must be. Can't say you missed this one. So you've been here the whole time. If you can't say you missed it, or you've missed, like emotionally missed or physically missed. Too much ambiguity in that. Ambiguity in your grammar. Could it be render doc rotating it wrong initially? Let's have a look at what it says. So if I click the so the first vertex is this one, right? Which is I might have to give Harand a unique Discord tag, which is friendly hemorrhoid. Sorry, yes, thank you, Queco, for paying attention. This one is drawing between right, down, and near, and then going to right, up, and near. So this is this one because the Y is changing. I think this is the mistake, right? The Z axis should not be changing for the first bunch of things. So that's wrong, right? As in conceptually, I can see here I'm drawing a line from near to far, wherever you are, and I don't want to do that. So somewhere in here, Christ, this is wrong. So have I intersected these incorrectly? Yeah, the first 8 should have the same Z. Correct. Yes, that was my expectation. Reality is a cruel mistress and is often wrong. But these all have the near plane. None of these. Are the arguments to the intersection func order correct? Surely the order is irrelevant because they will all intersect at the same point regardless of which area you put them in. And this is definitely the near plane, and this is definitely the far plane because they differ on the z-axis. Oh, interesting. Okay, so ensure that near left top dot z is less than 0.0f. That's what we're saying, isn't it? It should be, yeah, near. Near left top, near right top, near left bottom, near right bottom. Okay. No, because it's OpenGL, so it's the right hand rule. So right, if X is left to right, positive left to right, and trying to think how to show this on the screen, and Y is up, then Z comes into the screen. So Z negative Z is behind. You're looking down the positive Z axis, right? No, you're looking down the negative Z axis. Oh, yes, you're right. So it should be greater than. Yes, sorry, you are right. I think. Oh, so have I just constructed this wrong then? Right? Positive Z is out of the screen. So the near plane, yeah, okay. Murphy is indeed a cruel law. That crashed. So that failed an assert. I will just double check that. Okay, so 41. This one here. The near left and bottom plane comes back. So these two are fine. This one here is incorrect. So it's with the left and the bottom. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The left is positive. 4 is positive up. Okay, so those seem fine. Ah, it's cool. I used to work in cybersecurity many years ago, but I've never worked in game dev, so I couldn't offer you my opinion on your choice. But it's game dev sounds pretty brutal. You can say that about basically everyone. Most people spend their time not shipping games. Right, what have we got? Right, let's what am I doing wrong? So is my near plane wrong? I think my near plane is wrong. Okay, I think this should be that, right? I started losing my hair when I started programming C++ professionally. I don't know if those two are linked, but that's the only data point I've got. So this now means... Interesting, so this is still wrong. If the signs on the first two are correct, shouldn't the others be the same? Yes. Left and right are flipped. I don't think they are, because doesn't the normal face inwards? Oh, wait a minute. No, that is right, because the normal face is inwards. Okay, fine. Sorry. Christ. The near plane looks down the negative axis. Yes, I was right. Okay. Yes, we are trying to figure out why the Frustum doesn't work. So we've constructed, and there's a whole host of code between the camera and the Frustum. So we're basically debugging and testing each part along the way. So we're up to rendering. We've constructed a unit cube out of planes, and we're trying to render those. And it kind of works, but the whole thing is rotated, and I'm not sure why. So yes, we've all. I think yes, you're probably the fourth person to make that joke, and I think I made it twice. So yeah, sorry, these are normals, right? So goes back, looks inwards, goes to the front, looks backwards, looks in. That's right. I just don't understand how. I don't understand how this could possibly have a negative Z index if none of these planes can intersect on a positive on a negative Z. That is a good point. So the bottom one is the only one that is not used in these. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's this one? So the bottom plane will face upwards. Oh, the Oracle has come back with more information. It thinks that these should all be negative if the planes face inwards. I'm not sure I agree with that. The intersection function calculates the vector. Oh no. Yeah, this one now fails, so it definitely doesn't like that. Yeah, so that's... maybe. Like I've heard of it, but I wouldn't say I've worked with it, I'm afraid. No, I've kind of, I think I might have once or twice been near someone talking about it, but it was nothing to do with me. I was just trying to think if I could offer anything more constructive than that, but I'm afraid I can't. So this is saying it's x, y, x, y, z. So this is now right, bottom, far. It's interesting that this is wrong as well, right? This, no, yeah, I would expect this to be left, but in fact it's right. But the y is correct, it is the bottom one. Well, the two above swapped left to right. As in, like, print them out and have a look. We'll have to call this soon, because I think I've almost reached the limit of my mental capacity on this, but let's see what we get from this. So these are all right. Yeah, it doesn't... So we're supposed to have near left top, near right bottom. Okay, yeah, something weird is going on here. Yes, that's what the intersection function is doing. Made that mistake before. Don't know what's in my clipboard. Nulpo subscribed. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Don't forget to, if you're into Discord, don't forget to link it all up. No, x doesn't equal 2. I think I accidentally vimmed that. I didn't. It was an accident. Control A. I must have just hit it by accident. But good diligence. Right, I'm gonna. Someone requested a recap. I'm gonna do a recap of what we've done, and then if that doesn't spark joy in my life, I'll probably wrap it up. So ultimately, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Glad you're here as well to enjoy it. Ultimately, what I'm trying to do is check if one of these game entities is visible to the camera. That is the actual end goal. I think we started that 3 streams ago. We're still not there. I want to be able to check if the camera, i.e. the player, can see something. Now, the way you often do that, the way I've chosen to do that, whether there are other ways to do it, is with something called Frustum culling. So, well, not quite culling. Yeah, basically, you can represent your camera with this frustum, right? A square-based pyramid with the top chopped off, and everything inside it is mathematically is what the camera can see. So in theory, what we should be able to do is construct this shape with maths, and then stick one of these boxes around the objects, and then do more maths to check if they intersect. And if they intersect, then the player can see the object. If they don't intersect, i.e. the box is outside the frustum, then they can't see it. So what we've done so far is construct, and a frustum is constructed with 6 planes. So that is a infinite space, an infinitely extending plane of space with a normal and a distance from the origin to the center, question mark, something I need to go back and verify. Excuse me. So we've constructed these 6 planes, we've tested this, we're reasonably sure this works. Okay. And then what we're trying to do is then draw that to verify it's working, because the intersection test isn't working. So what I want to do is actually draw this. I want to calculate these 8 corners, right? And then draw lines between them, effectively render this. And then, so we've got a shape renderer, and this in theory just connects all these lines. However, when we look at this in oh, it's gone. This isn't going to work. When we look at this, we do see a frustum, well actually a square because we've simplified it, but it's rotated. So some of these aren't quite intuitive. What I do want to just try once more is just sticking the camera in it, just to see where we're at now, if we've made some changes and stuff. So let's go down here. Yeah, I got the projection matrix. That's already working. I commented the draw camera. Oh, so I did. So I did. Yes, effectively the camera shouldn't be able to see them, or maybe just on the peripheral. We can construct another camera to render them though. Yeah, it's not quite right. It's definitely this weird crisscross here. Let me just launch that quickly in render doc and show you what we've got. So in theory, the magenta should be the near plane, the red should be the far plane, and the yellow should be the connecting bar. So it's kind of like this. Sorry, like this, but like really wrong. The distances from the center of the frustum or the camera. So far plane might be distance 2. Possibly. I think my brain is absolutely dead with this. Signify the end. I do have some magnums in the freezer. I'm not quite sure about S Club 7. If that's how you choose to unwind after a long day, who am I to judge? Each to their own. But bear in mind, I'm not using this for culling. I'm using this for visibility tests. So I'm not going to be running it over the whole scene, at least not to start, because our scene is so simple. I suspect the overhead of doing the frustum culling is actually probably on par with what we would save. But anyway, I hope that's enjoyable for everyone. Apologies if we didn't quite, I don't know. Oh, is it the first of the month? I have YouTube goodies to give away. Hang on. Show support. Give 5 now. Apologies, nearly forgot that. Hope you didn't click off that quick, because so yeah. Rand got hit just in time. Anyway, thank you for those 5 random people. That's a month of free YouTube membership. You get early access to videos, and a special Discord room, a few extra bits and pieces. Enjoy. Tune in next Sunday where I can give away 5 more, and then I spent all my free ones. Anyway, what was I saying? Apologies if we didn't achieve. I feel bad when we don't kind of achieve a thing at the end of a stream. I always feel like it's nice when each stream has a thing that we've achieved. But yeah, it's kind of annoying that we didn't get it. But got to lay the groundwork. We wrote some more tests. I feel like we have a better understanding. I'm kind of glad we worked our way through some of the maths. I don't really like copying code. I don't really, so I kind of feel like we went through a lot of it and it made sense, which is good. I think progress was made. I think Sunday we'll get this done. Let's sit down 2 hours, 2.5 hours. If I get some time, I will do some reading before. I really don't think we're that far off. We are close. What I might do is see if I can find rather than asking the Oracle, see if I can find an actual GitHub implementation of this and walk through the code. Cool. Anyway, thank you very much for coming along. I'm going to go and relax. I'll probably run on Discord for another half an hour or so, which I'm plugging very heavily at the moment. Cool. Catch you in the next one. Thanks very much. Catch you later. Bye now.